parents, students. Orientations are time for initiating conversations. Conversations on what your stay here is going to be like. In seeking admission at Nalsar, you have entered the universe of law for the LLB students, and you have, in a way, re-entered the universe of law as LLM students. What I want to sort of point out to you that at Nalsar, whilst law would be the major constellation maybe, but it will not be the only one. अरे चाहिए पानी भाई अपने घर से लाए. So the point I want to sort of start out with is that in doing these degrees, both LLB and LLM, whilst we are making law the major constellation, we are not in some ways making it the only one. And more importantly, we are prominently trying to work at creating an entirely interdisciplinary culture, trying to give you the opportunity of learning to marry the discipline of law with social sciences, with management, with humanities, and progressively also to work towards where law most importantly starts to learn from these other disciplines, gives up its so-called very domineering kind of outlook. When I'm sort of saying this to you, and you'll say, man, I entered into a law school, what are you saying this for? Why are you telling us that it's not, I mean, like a vice chancellor comes and says, we will not teach, you learn. The academic dean comes and says that, oh, we will not kind of teach you only law, you have to be learning a whole range of other things. The idea somewhere, especially for the LLB students, is, yes, you have chosen to do the law degree, but you're still kind of exploring your preferences. You're still trying to make your choices. You're still trying to sort of work out exactly what law has to give you and what you have to give to the law. So the manner in which we have constructed our entire academic program, both at LLB and at LLM, is to give you that freedom of choice. And a freedom of choice, we have an elaborate credit system, which is like, for you to get your degree, you need to be earning the requisite amount of credits in both LLB and LLM, whatever the credits are. For LLB, it's 200. For LLM, we have worked out a system of electives and seminars that you have to do in addition to your dissertation and your mandatory courses. This credit system, whilst a component of the credits is what you get from your mandatory courses, there's a fair amount that you can choose of what you want to do. And any choice-based system doesn't mean very much if there is not too much choice. What you're going to get at Nalsar is that you're going to be spoiled for choice. We do not have any kind of a upper limit as such in terms of how much of extra credits you can do. We would sort of progressively counsel you to only sort of bite as much as you can chew. We will also try with scheduling and other things to spoil that choice sometimes, but in the main, the idea is the Vice Chancellor gave you a list of the various kinds of courses that we have, which come in from as wide a range as is possible, where somebody is coming and teaching you about the whole business of virtual money and what that means, to someone else talking to you in terms of whether it is like math studies, to the range of very nitty-gritty and specialized courses in financial laws. So you have the full range, you'll be exposed to all of that. The credit system allows you to do that. We also sort of we recognize the fact that all of our minds are not wired in the same way. So we have a very robust kind of a project system, which allows for different kinds of people to try to do different sorts of things. right from film reviews to research papers, to poetry reading, to sort of creating a piece of multimedia. All those kinds of things are something which are offered to you. You'll be given the opportunity of exploring those choices. That, with the factor of guest electives, a very vibrant internship system, and a system of student exchange, the idea, I'm sort of literally ticking all the boxes to put out to both to students and to parents that you have this universe that you can enter, and you can enter and make your own that which interests you. We would give you the opportunity of, when we speak in terms of lawyers and people working in firms and people going in for maybe higher studies, these are very typical kinds of options. Whether it is legal journalism or whether it is starting up and, like doing your own entrepreneurship, all of those kinds of, or just getting into like doing, the whole realm of media law from the standpoint of a lawyer. I mean, there are so many kinds of things which you can be doing. We would give you the opportunity to be able to do so. This, I think, for me, at a very critical level, freedom as such means nothing much if you do not have the opportunity to exercise that freedom. At the same time, freedom doesn't mean very much if you do not exercise it responsibly. So we are kind of giving you that opportunity to be free so that you learn how to exercise freedom in a responsible manner and come out, most importantly, as responsible citizens of this country. And for that, it's like, see, when people tell you stand up and sit down, you're giving instructions, you can follow them. But training for freedom, learning how to make choices, making mistakes and learning from them is a much, much more tough exercise. This time that you're going to spend with us is a time for you to grow from this, what I said, from minority to adulthood, and to be your own persons. And we're going to give you a full range of opportunity to be able to do that. The business of opening up of horizons works in a trifle different way. For the LLB students, because it's a 5-year course, the number of credits you have to acquire is a huge amount. So, and the time that you spend with us is much longer. You're also coming to us at that 17, 16, 17, 18, some of you just reaching adulthood, some of you about to reach it. So you actually kind of, you could say, reach your majority with us. And then kind of whatever way you plan to travel. For the LLM students, on the other hand, you coming in as full adults with some level of idea of what you wish to do. We are somewhere saying that amongst the strengths at Nalsar is our academic program and our equipping you to take up academic responsibilities. There isn't a law school in the country today which doesn't have graduates from Nalsar. We would sort of give you this opportunity, not just in the courses that you're going to study, but in the teaching program, that you have a robust teaching assistantship program at Nalsar, which you can be associated with. You can also contribute to the research effort of the institution. And it's because I think Professor Balakista Reddy gave you the list of all the centers we have at Nalsar. The Vice-Chancellor told you about the range of projects that you are working on. I would sort of invite you to show the initiative and get associated with them and make your contribution there. It is not an option which is available elsewhere. When we say we call you future colleagues, we also give you the opportunity of being associated with us, but you have to demonstrate that level of competence, that level of initiative. And that's a combine that you need to sort of work on. The research program, and that's something I just want to basically tick on, is not limited. See, in the LLB program, because projects are very integral part of what you do, so you do a large amount of research. In the LLM program, again, with the dissertation and the seminars, you are doing a large amount of research. The PhD program of the university is again amongst the most robust that you have in the country. So if academics interests you, then the sort of hand-holding, the kind of opportunity for doing interdisciplinary and pure disciplinary work that you have here I would say, is a class of its own. I don't believe in, like who's 1 and 2. That isn't the kind of thing one is really concerned with. My point somewhere would be that there are these fruits hanging there. What you're going to pull down is ultimately going to be your initiative. We're going to be in a very detailed kind of an orientation program tomorrow, put you through every bit and cranny of what is available. What I want to share with you, with your parents, is primarily this, that you are leaving your ward at a place which is going to give that ward the opportunity of growing and developing in a major way. What I would appeal to you is let them find their own genius. Let them find what exactly makes their heart beat faster. What is it that gives them joy? Do not sort of I know that their coming here has been a very rigorous competition process through which they have entered Nalsar. Now that they have entered Nalsar, let them find their own genius. We give immense amount of opportunity. Let that opportunity be exploited to full. Do not sort of set one person against the other. The rat race part is over. And like I always say, even if you win in a rat race, you remain a rat. And I don't think we want to be that. So it's important somewhere that you work out what makes you tick, what makes you happy. And that happiness is a very critical part of what we want to contribute to. What we would, as the CAD convener, both with especially with the LLB students, this thing, because the LLM students, I think, have reached a stage where they have to be looking after themselves and see to it that they are on track. But with the LLB students, especially in the first year, we would require you to somewhere keep track of how the child is going. In the sense of we cannot possibly give you that individuated kind of feedback, but we have in our whole scheme of evaluations, we have a mid-semester exam, which happens around, say, around the end of August. We have the projects which are required to be submitted on a literal year. The first one comes at the end of a month, and then 15 days each after that. I don't want you to harass them. I don't want you to be after them. They shouldn't feel that, but I do want you to somewhere keep track of. This is very much counter to the liberal image I'm supposed to be having, but I am recognizing the fact that sometimes in the early stages, some level of connection between parent and child is helpful because they are struggling with a new discipline. They're struggling with a whole new area. So that would be one kind of advice I would want to give. At the same time, I don't want to say that we are only offering this entire very, whatever hi-fi kind of a curricular package. We have an extremely interesting co-curricular program also. So whether it is from moods to debates, to lectures, to film festivals, to literary debates, there's an opportunity of great kinds for students to be sort of participating, both in terms of doing things and in terms of managing things. More significantly also, because of this very great primacy we give to choice, we are open to students mooting new things for us, saying this is what doesn't happen at Nalsar, but I would want it to happen. And then you get the freedom to be able to devise. So it's not like we only teach startups. We allow people to start up, whatever you want to be doing there. My other sort of point which I somewhere want to make pretty strongly, and I said, but partly I have said in terms of the whole business of competition and the fact of competence and excellence, is an appeal which I somewhere, I suppose, take from the movie Three Idiots, but I genuinely do think that in terms of what we want in the academic program and what we want to do with you as parents and us as teachers, is to make for competent people. Not necessarily, because we feel if you're competent, success follows. Not to be chasing success, but to be chasing competence and excellence. We want that this compact we enter with you today, that we'll contribute to making Qabil, so that Kamyabi comes. That Qabiliyat and Kamyabi ka relationship is what we want to be forging here. It can't be happening with only you or only us. It's primarily, of course, about you, my new entrance to Nalsar. It's primarily about you as to where you're going to put your money. And I would say put your money on yourself, follow your heart. We give you all this opportunity here with the various kinds of academic programs, but what you make of them is ultimately going to be you. Thank you so much.